So Joanna, thank you for photoing your work again because the second image is far better. In fact, it might be scanned. I'm not sure. Now, looking at this drawing, one of my favorite places is the thumb near the bottom right, close to your signature. There are other good areas too. You seem to really be getting this with the thumb. For instance, in drawing number 2, I like the way that you're looking at things, and the thumb is revealing that first of all, but when I see the clenched fingers, I realize you're getting it there too. If you look at number 1, which was undoubtedly your first, the nails are looking like circles, and that's making me think that you're drawing things by rote or you're intending to stylize. And here, remember the idea is to draw really slowly as if you were watching an ant that was crawling over every rise and fall of the contour that you're witnessing. Your eye goes as slow as that ant goes, and your hand matches the pace. Well, hi Anthony. Maybe this one that shows the hand flat is an earlier one. I'm not sure. It looks like it could be a trace hand, which isn't really what we're looking for here, although I could see how a person could misunderstand the directions. Um, when I look at your other drawings, there's a really lovely quality to them, especially that one on top right, where it looks as though there may be a drawing on the other side of the page or a drawing you erased. Um, I feel like you're going slowly, but maybe you're also grinding the pencil into the page just a bit, which is prohibiting you from being able to make a sort of fluid line. And I think you would like your line to be fluid. You could do this with a number 2 pencil. I would sharpen it a little bit. Sometimes people even do this with a felt tip pen, which has a sort of steady line, and you don't get the effect of the pencil dulling. So, it might be, just realizing this now, that I've reproduced one of your drawings twice. It's the same drawing. But looking at this one that we see twice, I think here you're striving to get the idea, but you're not allowing yourself yet to get as specific as you got in that top right one. I would say continue to practice this method because it does wonders for your ability to be able to draw from observation. I know it feels uncomfortable, but anything new will be a little bit uncomfortable. Well, Lori, these look pretty good. One thing that I find is absent here is lines that follow contours that go into the form of the hand. So you may see crevices at the joints. You might see suggestion of knuckles. Or what about nails? So as much as I think you're doing a pretty good job with getting the outer edges contour, I'd like you to include some information on the interior of the form as well. Well, hi Heidi. As much as your drawing number 2 shows some progress with this method, I can really see that you're getting it in drawing number 3. So I hope you'll continue to practice this variety of drawing from time to time because it is amazingly good at helping you to become more perceptive and to set aside all of your preconceptions about what the subject ought to look like. Deborah, I would say you've got it. This is pretty much what we're looking for. Now, a couple of thoughts. I would be inclined to include the wrist, not just the hand, for the sake of the compositions. And I think also it's not necessary to close off the bottom of the hand form there, sort of at the heel of the hand, at the base of the palm. I think that there's probably room for you to be even more sensitive, and you may have observed that I mentioned the device that's used to register earth tremors and how incredibly receptive that is. I like you to try to be as sensitive when you set out to draw. Well, hi Samantha. I see progress with method here. One of the ones I like best is your first one. I think the reason there is because this is a difficult pose to draw. I think very often when you give yourself something that's nearly impossible to do, you have to sort of scramble and forget all of those methods you know and kind of reinvent your approach. And that's working for you there. As I was just saying to Deborah, I think it's important to include some of the wrist. Um, you seem to be worried that someone was telling you that you didn't do the method according to the way it was explained. And my take here is um, you could practice this and go a little more slowly. Also, give yourself room on the page. I think you're getting a little bit crowded here. Did you notice that I mentioned I would prefer that you all draw on 18 by 24 inch paper, which means then that you can't scan. Um, and I would say, you know, if you're careful with photography, you can get a good image through using a camera. Well, Jennifer V, I can see that you are really focusing on your subject and going slowly. Your eye and your hand are coordinated and you're moving at a slow pace. You're very observant. There is a little bit of stylization. I find that the crevices, the creases near the knuckles look a lot the same from finger to finger. You know, my favorite hand is the one on the bottom here. I really like the way that the edge of one finger sort of bent down and that finger is too thin in essence. But what that tells me is that you're concentrating so closely on the details that the proportion or the composition lost out a little bit. And actually, that's what we want here. One other benefit with that particular drawing is it's got more space to breathe in. You know, some of your fingers here are looking like blades of grass or maybe fringe, and they don't have that quality of being on a hand, or there's not a quality of the hand and even the wrist here. And I think it's because you're just short of paper. So give yourself elbow space for drawing your hands. Well, Jennifer W., I think you're on the right track. One of the best ones here is probably number 2, which is top left in the arrangement. You know, I think your pencil is either too soft or too dull. And while the instructions are telling you to use pencil, a lot of times this variety of drawing is done with a felt tip pen or even a ballpoint pen. And here's one thing that's a personal preference for me. I don't like drawing on the entire pad of paper. So sometimes I might just take one page and flip it over on the cover of the drawing pad and draw against the cardboard cover, or even take a couple of pages out and tape them onto the drawing board. And one page serves as a cushion and the other one's, you know, the page I draw on. I just find that if there's a lot of cushiony, almost mattress-like paper underneath my drawing, I can't be as decisive, you know, with my pencil. Also, there's a chance that if I make a groove in the page, it will transfer to the page below and sort of spoil that paper. So I would like to see more of these from you, and I would like to see you invest a little more time in each of your drawings too.